Hi, I'm John.
Hi, I'm Maddie.
I love to cook and I love to cook for other people and give my friends little tips on how to be better and cook better.
And I hate cooking. I'm really bad at it. I come home late from work, so it's always a very big rush and scramble at the end.
So we're gonna make a great, pretty quick spaghetti bolognese with simple ingredients and go through some tips and tricks how to make it fast and obviously taste delicious without it taking too long.
Cool, cheers to that.
Cheers. So to start, Maddie, how would you generally start? You've come home from work, you want to get dinner going, you've got your meat here, your veggies. What are you going to do?
First thing I would do straight away is start cutting up all the vegetables. I feel like that's probably the most time-consuming part, just chopping it all up. But yeah, I'd peel the carrots first. It would be my first start.
So for me already, browning is something I would start with. So I've got something for the veggies. I wouldn't cut them, but I'll show you that in a second. The first thing to start with is to take the meat straight out of the containers and pop them straight into a warm pan. So I'm going to turn the pan on and Maddie is going to open the meat.
So one cool thing that John's already taught me before is getting two different types of meat. Now I've actually forgotten why that is, but you can tell us.
So it is good to have different types of minced meat as it adds flavor and also different textures. So you could just use beef mince if you'd like to. We are using, this is a lean beef mince and just a regular bolognese mince, which is just pork mince and beef mince. I'm just beefing it up, adding with the extra beef to that. But the pork just adds a bit more extra flavor. The pork is a bit fattier, so there's more flavor in the fat, and just a bit of an extra texture. But it's no big deal. It's just a general, if you want to go the extra mile, it's an option.
And something that I thought was interesting as well, because what I normally do if I'm doing spaghetti is I'll get either bacon or
Pancetta.
pancetta, and put that in. So it's interesting that you don't have that.
Yes. So if I was doing like a slow cooked thing, or if I was spending more time on this, I would pancetta is delicious. It's amazing. It's really good in these Italian dishes. But for us doing a quick, weeknight dinner, saving time, it is easy just to use a mince like this. You're still going to get a similar flavor. You could use bacon. If you've got some bacon in the fridge, chop up some bacon, pop that in just before the beef. But we're going to stick with the beef today. And
easy.
Let's get on to browning this. We're just going to pop a little bit of oil into the pan.
Does it matter which one you add in first or same
so
time?
we'll just pop it all straight in. So I'm just going to start breaking this up, and we want to just leave this to brown before we mix it too much. So now that the mince is browning, we just want to leave it, no touching it.
I know, I'm such a fiddler. I just want to stab it
tried.
and keep mixing it.
We just want to get some colour on it and mix it around. We're not cooking it completely through. We're going to take it out soon. It's just to get some of that fat rendered out so we can cook the veggies in it. Now for the veggies, as we just were starting to touch on earlier, I don't like to chop my veggies for a sauce like this. It's a waste of time. It takes too long.
I do spend a lot of my time
It takes a long
chopping.
time. We're going to use the food processor. It's a very fine line when we use the food processor. We're not making mush. We don't want it to be blended into absolute mushiness and nothing. We want really finely chopped vegetables. And this is going to make the sauce sweeter. It's going to make it thicker and fuller. It'll just be much nicer overall than big chunks of carrots and celery. I would do just into thirds and let's chop the end bit off. Yeah. Which is interesting.
So we're adding in the onion now as well?
Yes, so add in the onion, just take the brown skin off and cut it into quarters, I'd say.
I hate cutting onions, so this is a good dodge of that. They make me cry every time. I'm already starting to get it. Ah!
So this has been on for just a couple of minutes and the colour, look at that colour, that is exactly what we're going for. That is absolute flavour. So we'll just chop it up and mix it around a little bit more. And while Maddie is doing that, I am going to add some pepper and salt. So we're also going to add the garlic in, again, just to make it quicker. Generally, garlic should be added a little bit after the mirepoix, as this is called.
Mirepoix?
Mirepoix.
Mirepoix, never knew that.
Yes, that's the, I was going to say Italian term, but I think it sounds French.
French, yeah.
It's a term of the three sweet vegetables, carrot, celery, and onion, to sweeten like a soup or a sauce. So while Maddie's just finishing off putting the garlic in, I'm going to just take off this beef. Way too much oil in here. I'm going to tip some of this out, or just the oil and fat. And this is the beauty of browning the beef before, or the meat before your veggies go in. And our wines are getting a bit low, so we better top them up.
I don't think I could stand cooking without a drink in my hand.
That's what an alcoholic would say.
I just really don't like it. But you're making it more bearable.
Getting closer, but still fine. It's just fine, and that took all of 5 seconds. 10 seconds maybe.
Oh my God. I would have probably spent 20 minutes doing that.
So Maddie is attending to the chopped veggies, but she needs to leave it alone. Stop touching it.
I love looking and mixing it, but the onion's actually getting in my eyes, so.
So we want to just put it on a probably medium heat, and we want to let it soften, and this could take a good 10 minutes. At this stage, we can add a few herbs, especially dried herbs, like some dried rosemary, dried oregano, dried thyme. I also do have some fresh herbs to add in a little bit later when we start making more of the sauce. I'll add a little bit more pepper and salt. I like to add a little bit of chili, some red pepper
I'm not
flakes.
the best at chili.
We can do a tiny bit.
And normally I would start putting the pasta on now. Should we do it now or wait?
No, so we want to wait. When I do my pastas, I like to transfer my cooked pasta directly into the sauce itself.
I'll keep it going.
So for starters, we have some thyme. Let's pop that in, probably like all of it. There's not much actually left. And some chili. I'm just going to do a tiny little bit.
Yes, a little bit.
And then some ground cloves. So ground cloves, my dad is of Italian heritage, and they all love cloves in their Italian cooking. It just adds, I'd almost say, a meatiness kind of flavour. There's a richness that is quite nice.
It's interesting because I would have added that at the sauce stage.
Yes, so when we add dried things or dried spices, you will add them earlier because it takes longer for them to rehydrate and diffuse into the sauce. You can mix now.
Yes.
So we've had these veggies on for about 5 minutes, I'd say. And just a little secret I was saying to Maddie is the lower and slower we cook these, the more sugars and sweetness and flavour is released, basically. So we're going to start moving on.
Cool.
What would you do?
Like I said before, I would do pasta now or look at adding the meat into the veggies, putting sauce in. I know we're steering away from how I normally do it, so I'm getting further and further out of my depth. But,
that's fair enough. So what I would do next is I'd start to turn the heat up a little bit and pop in my tomato paste. Now the tomato paste is a great burst of umami flavour, and you want to clear a little space for it in the centre of the pan, pop some in and cook that out for just a couple of minutes because you want that bitterness to be cooked out. Mix it together, and then we want to deglaze the pan with the wine. So
cool.
And then we can build our sauce.
Tomato paste in spaghetti before, so.
Really?
No, I only ever do. I normally do passata and then a can of crushed tomatoes. I do the combo of that, but I've never done tomato paste.
So just while this tomato paste is cooking out a little bit, I just want to talk about the wine. So you don't have to use wine. There's the wine. You don't have to use wine. Wine helps to break down the veggies a bit more. It adds a lot of flavour. I'm going to use some red wine today. You can use white wine. I like the flavour of the red wine in a tomato sauce like this.
Yes, I would use red.
It adds a lot of richness and boldness, and I love this discussion. People like to say you can use any red wine that you want to, but in my opinion, if you don't want to drink it, you shouldn't use it because you're going to be tasting the flavours of that red wine or the wine in your sauce. So if you don't like the wine, why are you putting flavours you don't like in the sauce? It doesn't have to be expensive. I would not put an expensive bottle of wine in the sauce. I just put an average bottle of wine that you like the taste of.
Right.
Yeah, let's start stirring that in.
You can really see it staining the bottom of the thing.
Yes. So what do we call that? The fond, don't we?
Fond?
Fond, I think?
No idea. Was that
is
Italian, French?
stuck meat and the stuck sauce, the stuck veggies. But what is going to release that is the alcohol. It's the wine will release it. And this is an induction cooktop. There's no flames. We're not going to burn anything. We're not going to create a fire. It is just going to release, it's going to add flavor, but also release all of those bits from the bottom of the pan. I like to add, for this amount, we've got a fair bit here. I'd say about 2 glasses. I'd say about that much, or a bit more, just for luck. So now the wine's in, we want to make sure we cook the alcohol in the wine because that can be quite bitter still. And we want to keep cooking this on a bit of a higher heat until there is basically no or very little liquid in the pan. This is looking really good. Look how dark and rich this is looking. Let's have a jar of tomato puree. So our sauce is looking really good. We've got everything in there, but there's this one point I want to make. I like to put some, here we go, Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce in, and that also adds a great kind of umami flavor, just a saltiness similar to the tomato paste. Obviously different flavor, but similar concept. And we'd probably want to add about a tablespoon, 2 bay leaves. I like for the amount of sauce we're doing. Again, adds a nice flavor. I've got some thyme from the garden.
Dropping it on the floor.
And I've got some rosemary. Yeah, so let's add that meat in, and any sauce, or that sauce's flavor, or any... Oh. So we've got our sauce simmering now. I'll just put the lid on because it is a little bit on the drier side. If it's looking a bit wet, keep the lid off and evaporate some of that extra sauce or the extra liquid water off. I'm going to let it cook for probably about 5-10 minutes, then we'll give it a taste. Taste it for salt, taste it for sugar,
Here's Jack.
Sweetness. And then I've also got some chopped up cherry tomatoes, which I'll add. But it is pasta time.
Yay!
I have just some spaghetti. I've got some boiling water. And obviously, as we all know, you've got to salt the pot.
Yes.
And what do they say in Italy? Or do you know?
No
They
idea.
say it should be as salty as the Mediterranean Sea.
Oh!
So really salty.
I didn't know that. I
'cause the
only
salt
ever do a
adds
little
flavour.
bit.
So we are having a little taste. Maddie's had a taste. What do you think?
I know, I had a sneak taste. I
don't
need
think-
something.
I think it's flavored really nicely, but it needs...
Is it more salt? Needs saltiness?
Definitely needs saltiness. Something that we can add in to boost that flavor a bit is, I mean, you can always add a bit more Worcestershire sauce. I think the sugar is fine. I don't think
so
it's...
too.
Blending the vegetables really make it good in that, you know, make it nice and sweet. I don't think it needs any more sugar, but we could put a little bit of balsamic vinegar in there. That's going to boost up another flavor, which would be nice. You can use red wine vinegar.
Adding the tomatoes as well will help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we might add those tomatoes now, and I'll add just a teaspoon of some balsamic vinegar. How does it taste?
So much better.
And the pasta is ready. So as I mentioned earlier, I like to pop this pasta straight in. The pot is really full. So
Yes, that's what I was about to say.
I'm a little bit worried. All right, this is probably going to make a mess everywhere, but let's go.
Ah!
Oh my God.
That was actually a lot better than what I was expecting. You only missed this little bit.
And
Any
probably
at
on
the
the other
back?
side.
No, you didn't.
Oh, it was just
It was
this little
just
bit.
this bit.
We also want to be taking out any excess bits of, what's this called? Rosemary. And the cloves. No.
Cloves?
And the bay leaves.
Bay leaves, yeah.
I think that wine started going to my head a little bit. Don't drink too much wine before you've cooked dinner. We just want to kind of scoop the pasta in. And once all the pasta's in, we can add a little bit of water. And we are ready. So we've got our bowls out. Obviously some Parmesan cheese, because that's the best.
Yes.
We've made a really nice big pot of this. The beauty of it is there's 3 of us to feed, but we have our dinner, either lunches, other dinners throughout the week.
We should get a little scooper.
Yeah, so the way I'm
we
going to do this, I'm
can
going to
get
scoop up the pasta.
There's the bay leaf. We spent ages searching for him.
You've got to fish out the bay leaves and any bits of rosemary or anything that's left over, and it can be a bit hard, but you'll always find it eventually. Let's do a little taste test. It's looking really good.
Yes. That's good.
Yummy.
Yum. I gotta hold myself back from just
I know.
eating it all straight away.
But yeah,
was
thanks
good.
for watching. Hope you
Thanks
guys
for
enjoyed the
having me.
video. Yeah, thanks for coming on. We'll do some more kind of cool meals like this and
Yes. You can teach
some
me
more
more
little
things.
tips and tricks. If you like the video, give it a like and subscribe and
Definitely
come and
do.
see us again.
Okay, bye.
See ya.